Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we're going to do another video. I had a viewer send me a link to a preparing website. It is called, let me pull this up so that way you can see. I'm going to post it and step over here so that way you can see. This is called the prepared.com. Should have known that, sorry. I went through and looked at it. The website looks, really well made, really well done. But the link that they sent me is the 25 prepper quotes and asked me to share my opinion on it. So, the way that I always do this, I do not steal credit or thunder or anything like that from anybody. The website that I got this from that was sent to me is theprepared.com. I will always, whenever I do these, post a link down to their website down in the description section so that way you can go check them out for yourselves. With this being 25, I'll probably end up making this into a mini series, and we'll just do 5 at a time, and 5 times 5 is 25. So we'll do 5 little videos. And each one of those, again, I will let you know who it's by, and then share the link to their website and each and every one of them. So I am going to do the first 5, and let's go ahead and get started into this one. The first couple we'll kind of touch on. Some of these are pretty self-explanatory. Number 5 is where I'm going to spend a little bit of time, and I'm kind of curious to see on the metrics and everything after a couple of days of this video. You'll see why here in a little bit. Okay, so number 1, never become a refugee or give up your liberty for a meal. Okay, I really like that. Absolutely like that. So what they are saying is you cannot give up basically your freedom. You can't be a refugee. You can't give up your place of where you live. You can't give up your home. You can't give up that whole freedom of everything just for a meal. Never put yourself in that perspective or in that situation, excuse me. Never get to the point to where you basically give everything completely up just so you can eat. Kind of a golden thing about being prepared is food and water. So number 1, right off the bat, it really shows you that you need to take food and water extremely seriously. That is a really good one. I like that they started off with that kind of strong. So number 2, never speak with the media. For the most part, yes, I will agree with that. I see certain people get on to the media and share, and it is a good idea, in my opinion, to use a platform. I'm not a big fan of social media. I'm not a big fan of YouTube and all the censorship and the algorithms and all the things that go on and things like that. But you use what you have to your advantage to the best of your ability. And so if a media outlet will let you come on and spread, preparedness and awareness to the preparedness community, it might be a good idea to utilize that. For the most part, speaking to the media, yeah, I will, let's say I'll 80% agree with that. So yes. All right, let's move on. Number 3, OPSEC and PERSEC above all else. So OPSEC, you don't know what that is kind of your operational security. Your PERSEC, if you followed along, is personal security. Yes, 100% agree. Even above food and water. If you and your people in your AO or your area of operation, if you and your group, your family, whatever, if you are not safe, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do very much. So security is extremely important. So yes, I'm 100% agree. And I told you we're going to move through the first couple ones kind of quick. So Let's move on to number 4. And this is basically kind of like a prepper golden rule. If you haven't heard this, you're going to hear it a ton from now on. So 2 is 1 and 1 is none, which is kind of, I think, a golden rule in the prepper, Bible, if you will. You always have redundancy. You always have backup. You have backup for your backup. You don't ever go and do just a single plan, or you take a single tool or a single anything. If you do not plan for that tool or that plan or whatever to fail, then you are planning that you're basically going to fail. As you know, in life, and same goes in preparing or planning, nothing ever goes according to plan 100% perfectly. So to have it to where you base your plan and have it to where your life is dependent, you should have a plan A, plan B, plan C, and so on down the list. And I see a lot of people that I will ask them, and let's just throw a scenario out there. How are you going to get water? And they go, well, I've got, tap water comes to my house. Great. What happens if that goes down? Well, that's okay. There is, a stream that's half mile from my house. Okay. Now my question is what happens to that stream? Well, nothing's ever happened to it. Okay. What if something does happen to it? It gets tainted, polluted, dammed up, dirty. You can't use it. Whatever the reason, you can't use it. What's plan C? Well, I don't have a plan C. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay. So that one there speaks to your redundancy and having backup plans. All right, now let's move to number 5, which is going to be the last for this video. And this is where I'm going to spend a little bit of time. After I read this, I'm sure there's going to be people that just jump off, but I hope that since you made it this far, and hopefully you subscribe to the channel, that you'll at least hear me out on this. Number 5, the government is not your friend. All right, so hear me out on this. 110% agree. The government is not your friend, never was, never will be. The government should be very, very small and keep out of everyday, the lives of everyday citizens. So, to give you a tiny little story, and we'll see if this swings back around for you. I put in over 10 years for and I won't say the name, nationally, and actually they are around the world, but nationally recognized auto parts manufacturing, or not manufacturing, but auto parts distributor. So an auto parts store. Mine was different than a lot. We didn't just do auto parts. We really did a lot in hydraulics, heavy duty, machine work, driveline work. We did a lot in ours. We were a corporate store, and that's where this gets into it. So in a corporate world, it always baffled me and angered me that they would make the most ridiculous of changes to your store based off of somebody at a corporate level that has little to no experience in the automotive, hydraulic, any of that world whatsoever, but they went to some sort of college and got some sort of degree that makes their opinion better. But they make a huge, major change that makes absolutely no sense because they have little to no experience. They've never been to your state, your town, let alone your store. They don't know your customers. They don't know anything other than they got a few numbers and put it into some sort of algorithm and pulled the matrix of it, and that says put this here. And it always got to me because if you go back years ago, things were settled with a handshake. You made a relationship. You had that trust. You built that with people. And today, with the internet and everything else, everything is, you walk up and you go, how much is that? They go $10. And they will literally right in front of you go, well, I can get it on here for $8.99. So can you do better than that? No, it's one of those ones where the internet's really ruined a lot of things. We've got away from that relationship. You knew your people by name, and really to swing this back around, back in the older days when the nation was kind of building itself, you knew your representatives. We were a much smaller nation. The people that you sent off, they were from your hometown. They most of the time they lived there. They grew up there. They knew most of everybody. They came and they did town halls and they spoke to everybody, and pretty much everybody knew who they were and where they lived. And they didn't spend all their time over there. They went over there and they did some of the voting and talking or whatever. Then they left and came back home, and you had more of an intimate relationship. You could actually voice your opinion and grievances and look them in the eye and have that conversation and that dialogue with them. I'm going to venture to guess that 99% of all of you that are watching this, if you can even tell me all of the representatives you have, and that is state, local, federal, everything, you probably have not met one. Or if you've met one, you probably have not met more than one. And that's even if you can even name 10% of them, okay? The point is we've gotten so big and so out of touch that there isn't that relationship anymore. And it's all about once you get to a certain level of power, of keeping that power and making those decisions. In reality, the way a lot of this should work is that when there comes to a major decision, that question should be asked. You should go back to your constituents, have talk with your people, and have them come together. And then once they have a decision, they give it to their representative, and their representative then takes it, whether your representative agrees with it or not. They are there to represent you, not make a decision on your behalf. So we can get into government stuff all the time. But the point of this, the government is not your friend. I've said this more and more and time again, that there is a thing called continuity of government, not continuity of you. When it comes down to it, if there is somebody of the government over here and you over here, and they have time to choose one, you will lose every time. And you can look back through history on every single instance you want that you can actually put that together. They will do everything in their power to make sure that they are safe on an airplane and out of harm's way, taken care of. Then they go after their family and things like that to get them out of harm's way. There's tons of plans for that. If something is to happen and you look back through different hurricanes, natural disasters, and whatnot, it could take a week and a half, whatever, for you to get water from FEMA. So, again, the government is not your friend. Okay, I will stand on that. I'm sorry if you disagree. If you disagree, that's fine. Throw it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you agree with me, hit the like button. So with that, we'll end this one. Stay tuned. We'll make this into a little mini series. We'll go over the next ones, and we will continue on, and I'll share my thoughts and opinions of all this. So just remember, guys, remain united. We're all prepping in this.